Mr. Auster is an English literature teacher, and McDunning is one of his favorite students. During the lesson, the girl read a verse of her own composition, and Auster declared that she was capable of more. Meg has a difficult relationship with her younger sister. She has to constantly look after Lily, while her mother disappears at work all day. She divorced her father.
You gave birth to her, you take care of her. What did you say? Get out of here.
Lily cut her foot with scissors and sprinkled salt on it. Meg felt sorry for her sister, and she helped her to treat the wound. The teacher put a questionnaire for participation in a poetry contest in Meg's work, and also left an encouraging inscription. The girl missed the bus. Auster stopped nearby and offered a ride. Meg refused at first, but the teacher insisted. He says that the competition will help her get a scholarship to college. But Meg is working, and there is no time to prepare for it. The teacher asks Meg about her family. He found out that the girl hardly sees her father, only on holidays. After dropping the schoolgirl off, Auster said he would help her prepare for a poetry contest. Lily misses her father very much. She found his old photos, which may not please Mom, because she hates him. She herself is dressed in an angel costume in the photo. My sister wondered why this Meg wore her mother's blouse to school. And in it, the girl came to the teacher with a completed questionnaire. Auster treated his favorite with an orange. Meg's poem was written about a father who left the family. The teacher asked me to describe that day in detail. He himself told a tearful story about how he buried his son. That day, he forgot to put on his lenses, and instead of the child, he saw only a blurry spot of his red sweater. The girl concentrated, and remembered that her father had left that day in a blue car. Auster wrote an inspiring romantic poem for Meg.
He didn't write that to me. Who knows, maybe he'll invite you to the dance.
Lily went on a hunger strike, and refused to eat a sandwich even at gunpoint. The mother called and said that she would come home very late. Without eating, Lily went to bed, while rewinding her hands with tape. Mom, she's here today. Megan wrote a poem for the contest. Auster got smart and, after riding the girl on an emotional swing, hinted that she could do better. Today the family is having dinner with a friend of the mother. It was he who found a job for Megan, which does not please her at all. The mother cares more about interviewing for a new job, which was also arranged by her friend. It's time for the final of the Young Poets competition. Megan came on stage and read a depressing poem called The Blue Car. It is dedicated to the father, without whom it became unbearable for the daughters to live. The next day, Auster called her to an empty classroom and advised her not to be upset about losing the competition. And when the saddened Meg was about to leave, he suddenly announced that she had won. Therefore, they will have to work together again so that she can participate in the national poetry competition. In class, Megan is not as sad as usual. She often stays with the teacher after class, and he feeds a talented student lunch. The final will be held in Florida, and Mom is unlikely to be able to go with Meg. The conversation was interrupted by one of the students, who turned out to be Auster's son, and asked him for money for lunch. When Megan returned home, she found her sister upset, and her sleeping mother, who had taken pills. Judging by the bruises, her friend began to harass her. The woman refused, which is why she never got a job. Lily is trying to cover up her freckles. She is constantly taken to a psychologist, but the girl does not get better. She calls herself an angel and still refuses to eat. In the church, the girl spread her arms to the sides and fainted. After that, Lily was admitted to the hospital. Megan met with the teacher and said she couldn't go. She wants to be close to her sister. Auster hugged her, stroked her, and assured her that Lily would be fine. Megan wonders, and why is the teacher so kind to her? My mother ran into Meg, because she took time off from work and lied to the boss that her father would give her a ride home. The girl hides who really gave her a ride. She spent 2 whole hours with the teacher.
And if I find out who your boyfriend is, I'll tell his parents what a scoundrel their son is.
Meg wanted to withdraw money from her account for a trip to Florida, but it is impossible to do this without her mother's signature. Auster left her a delicious gift of candy in the form of a car on her backpack. George's friend is also going to Florida with her family and offered Meg to stay with her. Then you will only need to pay for a bus ticket. The girl visited Lily, brought her a toy and chocolate. My sister is in trouble. Someone allegedly comes to her at night and deprives her of her wings.
Wings? They won't grow, because there's invisible food in the tube.
Megan promises Leela that she will take her to Florida with her. The mother was informed that they were going to transfer the youngest daughter to a psychiatric ward. Megan can't withdraw her earned money, so she asked the boss to pay her next salary in cash. And she also stole ties from a warehouse and showed up at a clothing store, claiming that she bought them a week ago. And now she wants to return them. But there is no receipt. And the manager said it wasn't their product. In the middle of the night, the mother got a call from the hospital. Lily wanted to fly, and the window in the ward was open. Her daughter is no more. My father was also present at the funeral. Even today, he and his mother began to fight. Megan hung Lily's toy around her neck and found a photo of her, in which the girl erased her face. At school, Megan watched the teacher train with the boys in the yard. At work, the boss immediately said that the thief was fired, and she would not receive a salary. And then he expelled the schoolgirl from the store. At home, the mother searches Meg's room to find the stolen ties. The daughter had previously suffered from kleptomania. Megan is threatening to move in with her father. That's just whether he needs it. In a year, he came to visit his daughters only 3 times, and is not even able to pay alimony. It's only $60 a week. Because of this, her mother works for 12 hours, also attends courses, and Megan shames her in front of friends. And steals from the store.
Ungrateful trash.
Meg tried to take away her sister's things, which her mother wanted to put in the pantry, and suddenly got slapped in the face. After that, the schoolgirl threw her clothes into a bag and left the house, leaving her key. She decided to find solace from the teacher Oster. He hugged the student, and the girl lightly kissed him on the neck. Oster said Megan was beautiful, and walked away from her. George's parents allowed the girl to stay with them. Her older brother Pat also lives in the house. He's already done time for stealing credit cards. The guy admitted that he regrets that he upset mom and dad, and now wants to atone for his guilt. Megan is familiar with this because she also stole things several times. She wanted to buy a bus ticket to get to Florida. Pat said that he would rather take her in his wheelbarrow than she would sit next to some fat freak for 14 hours. For this, the criminal asked her to steal from the pharmacy several bags of pills that were prescribed for patients. In the bags, Pat found Vicodin, Oxycontin, Viagra, and a bunch of other pills that can be driven for normal money. Now they have the money to drive to the ocean shore. Oster is giving his last lesson today. Then summer holidays. The teacher is discouraged. He's kind of uncomfortable being around Meg after what happened. But immediately, the man asked the student to come to him and pasted a star on her forehead. I wish I could show you how I feel. Before going to bed, Meg gave Pat one of the stolen ties, and he said that they would go on a trip at dawn. But no one woke Meg up in the morning. Pat was no longer at home, and the police are making a list of everything he stole from his parents: jewelry, collectible coins, a car, and even. The family will not go to any Florida now, and the girl has no idea how she will get to the competition. Her purse is empty herself. As you know, a bad example is contagious. And so Meg, having penetrated into her house, got to her mother's jewelry. In a pawn shop, they are ready to offer her only $75 for an engagement ring, a jacket, and a bike. And Meg agreed. Finally, she takes the bus to Florida. In a cafe near the parking lot, a girl finished her lunch for someone. That's how the schoolgirl got to the ocean shore. A room at the hotel where the poetry contest will be held cost $190 per night. So Meg was forced to spend the night right on the beach. In the morning, she saw her teacher, Mr. Oster, who was resting with his wife and son. Megan came over to say hello. The teacher wanted her to join them. And Delia suggested that the girl change clothes and buy drinks for everyone. At first glance, a nice woman for some reason began to mock Megan and her husband.
I'm sure Meg would like to keep you company, dear.
After a while, Oster offered the girl to accompany her. Delia suddenly began to cry, as if she knew something about her husband. And anyway, she's not very happy with him. The woman told Meg that she was cute, and wished her luck at the contest. I'll do some work later. The teacher said that he and his wife have known each other since childhood. Then he offered Meg to put on his sweater, and took her hand. The schoolgirl gave Oster one of the stolen ties, and he took it and kissed her on the lips. The man asked if she was against it, and repeated. Then Oster took the student to a hotel room. The girl is confused, but understands what he expects from her. The teacher finally stopped pretending. He took off Meg's clothes, and invited her to lie down on the bed. The poet quickly turned into Mr. Vulgar. Meg was upset when she realized that Oster's goal was to get her into bed in the first place. There was a rumor that the book that the teacher carries with him is his novel, with which he won a lot of awards. But almost all the sheets in it were empty. And the romantic poem, which he then dedicated to Megan, was written by a famous poet at the beginning of the 20th century. Meg stuck a star on it and grabbed her head. Having received what he wanted, the manipulative pervert pulled on his pants and offered the girl to escort her. "What is your book about?" Meg asked the teacher. "About how an old man fell in love with a young girl. They slept together, and the old man was reborn." After that, Oster got up and left the room. In the cafe, the waitress treated the young guest to dinner. Right at the table, Meg fell asleep. In the morning, she showed up for a poetry contest. On the chair, the girl again found a chocolate bar in the form of a car. Oster is one of the jury members. Instead of the prepared verse, Meg took a napkin, on which she had thrown the lines that night. She dedicated this poem to her teacher, Mr. Oster. She called him a liar and a monster who breaks girls' hearts. Her father left her. Now she wants him to leave too, taking his star with him. Everyone felt uneasy. The girl threw the napkin into the ocean and returned home. She immediately called her father and asked him to pick her up. In the evening, mother returned from work, and they asked each other for forgiveness. Meg was trying to find a replacement for her father in Mr. Oster, and the scoundrel, knowing this, took advantage of a naive girl. Mom gave Meg all the old photos and left her alone. In the morning, the father arrived and took his daughter so that she could start a new life. Finally, she also left in a blue car, which she wrote about in her poem.